Oh, good morning and welcome to Rising. We have just another fantastic, fun-filled show for you today. Me and Niall, we've been here all week, enjoying ourselves. How
Absolutely.
are you?
I am very well, and it's good to be with you for one more day this week. So, how are things with you?
They're great. We had a big event last night.
Your debate.
With Ryan Grimm and Emily Jashinsky. It was a lot of fun. They did win because they
no.
pulled out every dirty trick in the book.
I have such a split opinion on that because, do I praise it because it's lefty Ryan Grimm, or am I horrified and loyal to you because it's right wing?
Well, they're the left-right
Yes.
agreement. Not here. We're the left-right battle. But no, it was a lot of fun to hang out with them. I think it was a very entertaining event,
Good.
and it will be posted online sometime in the future for others to enjoy. Afterward, we went to a karaoke bar across the street, and I belted out a few notes of my own.
Do you have a karaoke party piece, so to speak?
Yes, but it's a real buzzkill, and I didn't perform it. It would be Creep by Radiohead.
Oh.
Love that song.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
All right, let's get to the actual stuff that's going on, I guess.
Much news to get to, but before we get to the other items on our agenda, Robbie, what is on your radar?
Well, is there only one principled person left in the United States Senate? Senator Rand Paul is again making his case. President Donald Trump can have his war with Venezuela, with Venezuela's government, but he has to come to Congress and receive authorization. Why? Because that's what our Constitution demands. Here was the senator.
I kind of like to obey this thing called the Constitution. The Constitution says that war only occurs when it's declared by Congress. The president doesn't have the power to take the country to war. Now, if he does, he wouldn't be the first president to disobey the Constitution. But I think we should obey the Constitution because I think it makes war less likely. This would be a war of choice. It would be an offensive war, albeit a war to get rid of people we most of us find distasteful. But it would be unconstitutional for the president to do this alone. So if he thinks he wants war with Venezuela, he should come and ask for permission from Congress the way it was intended.
Paul is right. This is not complicated. The Constitution gives Congress, not the president, but Congress, the power to declare war. That means our elected representatives need to take a vote after carefully weighing and debating the arguments for or against this war. Then, if the American people don't like the choice that their elected representatives made, we can hold them accountable and vote those people out of office. In the past, presidents have had no trouble securing authorization to conduct wars against actual threats to our country. For instance, after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt asked for a declaration of war, and he got it. It was nearly unanimous, just a single no vote in the House, unanimous consent in the Senate. Congress is not unreasonable. They gave the president the green light to fight Imperial Japan and Nazi Germany. Now, Venezuela is clearly not a threat to the U.S. on the same level. Still, Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro, is a socialist dictator who has immiserated his people. We would certainly be better off with him gone. It may be in the interest of U.S. foreign policy to orchestrate his ouster. I'm open to being persuaded, but Trump needs to actually make that case to the legislature. Our founders did not intend for us to have a one-branch government. It's clear that Congress's duty is to declare war, and then the president is tasked with executing on that vision. A declaration of war against Venezuela would also clarify the status of these alleged narco-trafficking boats in the Caribbean, which might then be legitimate war targets. Right now, we're essentially engaged in what I would consider law enforcement, and thus killing first, asking questions later is just not a proper approach. Now, to be clear, Trump's current course of action of sidestepping Congress is not remotely unique to him. Countless presidents have ignored the Constitution's requirement and engaged in military action without proper authorization. But as Paul has patiently pointed out again and again, that does not make it okay now. Let's watch again.
The fact that 10 presidents have done it incorrectly doesn't make it right. Our founding fathers were united to a person. All those who signed, all those who debated over the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, were unanimous that Congress should declare war. No president should on his own. Now, we have disobeyed that, but we do have the ability, if Congress rose up in a clear two-thirds majority and said no, we could overturn any veto.
Now, imagine if Trump did manage to bring this issue before Congress. In one fell swoop, he could actually shut up all his leftist critics about shredding the Constitution and destroying the rule of law and endangering our democracy. He could be the president who actually did it the right way. Food for thought, Mr. President.
I largely agree with that. We'll get to your closing thoughts in a second. But certainly the idea that Congress has the power to make war and a president does not unilaterally have that power, that seems clear to me. I also think Rand Paul, who would have very different views to me in various other issues, I think those are legitimately things that, he legitimately stands up for his beliefs in this.
Like his father before him.
Yes.
Good old Ron Paul.
Good old Ron. I'm old enough to have covered one of Ron's presidential campaigns. I can't remember, 2008, I think he ran. But in any event, the point, I think, is that part of Trump's reluctance is, I'm sure, just Trump's general instinct that he can do whatever he likes and it doesn't matter. The other part, I suspect, is it seems to me he just wouldn't win a vote, right? Because in the House, where Republicans only have an extremely narrow majority anyway, I would imagine Democrats would vote unanimously against. And so you would only have to win over a very small number of Republicans to sink the whole thing. It's not like even, you were mentioning some like Pearl Harbor in the past, but even in the Iraq War vote, which was very controversial, you had about 80 Democrats in the House, and I think more than 20 Democratic senators vote for it. Turned out to be the wrong vote politically and substantively, but nonetheless there was that element of bipartisanship. Right. I don't think you would get any of that now, and that's not only a product of polarization, it's the fact that people, rightly in my view, see no reason to go to war with Venezuela.
That would be a good sign that we shouldn't do it then.
Yes,
if they won't vote for it,
indeed.
That would be a great reason not to do it, particularly at a time where the Republican Party's fortunes are fading a little bit. Donald Trump's approval rating is low. The expectation is that the midterms would go badly for them, albeit that's a long way off and there's still time to improve things. The economy is not what Donald Trump promised. Voters who came in to the coalition are not. I don't think they're necessarily having buyer's remorse. I'm not sure they're saying we're so upset that we didn't vote for Democrats. They're just not happy with what is being delivered to them. And this would be a great sanity check that more foreign entanglements would not be a good idea. The Iraq War is a great example of why this should be brought for Congress. It was argued and debated in Congress, and you had, it was not a totally partisan thing. You had many Democrats who did support the declaration of war, and then they could be held accountable later. That hurt Hillary Clinton, that she supported it. That hurt her in her primary race against Barack Obama in 2008. That is a vital component of our democracy because all of these people, it's like their hands are clean. They can just wait to see how it goes. They can get the best of both worlds. They can, if it's popular, they can say, oh yeah, well, we support it. It's great. We love Mr. Trump.
Yep.
If it's not popular, they say, well, I didn't vote for it. That's bad.
Right.
That's bad for us holding them accountable.
And I think that's presumably one of the reasons why, with the exception of people like Rand Paul or Thomas Massie, there hasn't really been a particularly strong push from Republicans to have such a vote because it would place them in a difficult position. They would either have to go against Trump's perceived desires or not. And that is something, that divide is something.
On one level, you'd think I would expect them to be upset that so much of their power and responsibility is being usurped, not just by this president, but by every president in modern times. Really, our founders thought of the legislator as the Congress as the main branch of government. The executive and the judiciary very much side partners, and that has rebalanced to where the president is by far the executive by far the most powerful branch. The court might be more powerful than Congress, frankly, at this point. Congress doesn't care. It's so strange.
It is. It has really ceded enormous power. And of course, not only Trump, but people around him like Stephen Miller are more than happy to grab that power when it becomes available. Up next, more updates could be coming in the Jeffrey Epstein story following a ruling from a federal judge. We'll be right back with that.